Let me
And we live. We definitely live. Welcome. Welcome. When I say that it has been a serious cluster for me, I apologize to everybody. Had a rainstorm come through here, a fake rainstorm come through here, and messing with my internet. So I'm on my phone right now, trying to make it happen. But listen, this is the Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong. I'm here with my brother, Ja'Cory Armstrong. Damon Armstrong, he's going to join us later, but we got a special guest tonight. Is Darelle Porter, better known to his friends as Dad. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
What we're going to do is do a little bit of house cleaning. So basically, what I need you guys to do, once you run across this, is to go to our YouTube channel, Strong Perspective Podcast, and subscribe and like what you see if you like something, and also recommend us to everyone. So, Ja'Cory, how you doing today, brother?
I'm good, man. I have very little to complain about, man.
I think you froze, Ja'Cory.
Tuesday.
Hey, I'm not sure. You coming in and out. Well, Darelle, you coming in and out, Ja'Cory. You froze. We ain't hearing none of that dialogue.
Right. I'm like on delay. I can hear you. I hear you twice when you're saying something.
Yeah, it's an echo. So I tell you what, you know how they, when you listen to the radio, you're too close. Try turning down your volume and see if that works. Ja'Cory, are you good?
Yeah.
You froze, man. Like somebody took your picture. But it was going in and out. We didn't hear anything that you said.
No, I'm just saying, man. I just said, my day has been cool, man. I was off work for about 3 weeks, man, because of my back. I went back to work Tuesday morning.
Hey, I tell you what.
And everything was pretty much as I left it.
Okay.
They was good though, man. They was good.
Cool. Darelle, it seemed like you where you at? You at a football game, man?
Yeah, the ball game.
I'm at a football game. I just left my hip hop caucus, so I've been real busy, and I got a lot to talk about.
Okay, good. Like I said, my brother Damon's he's going to join us a little later. So what we usually do in our episodes, Darelle, is our guests that come on. Why don't you tell us a little about yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Attended the University of Pittsburgh, and now I'm executive director for Ozanam programs organization that I grew up in. So now I'm able to give back to the same community that helped me.
Okay. tell us a little bit about how you found your way back to the Ozanam program, and tell us about your college days, because I need you to talk about Darelle Porter. Give us a little bit. This is your time to shine just a little bit, and as we go further, we'll brighten the light a little more. But tell us about tell them about what how you came to Pitt the whole time. You know what I mean?
Well, I was a highly recruited student athlete for basketball and football. And so I actually got recruited to Pitt for football and basketball. And it came down to, am I going to play football or basketball? And I decided to play basketball. During that whole process, I was close to home. I lived across the street from the field house. So I grew up wanting to play for Pitt, and I was able to actually reach my dream and play at the University of Pittsburgh. And that's why I know so much about Pitt athletics, especially basketball, because I grew up watching it.
Yeah, that's a crazy thing right there, because I remember you and I was having a conversation about that. And, as far as Pitt basketball, and I know you might be that for football because Pitt is a football school, but for basketball, you're a basketball historian. You know all the guys, you know what I mean? And I think that was the one thing about it was when I was growing up, I more or less wanted to play for the University of Michigan. You know what I mean? And my mother used to take us to Michigan football games, and we watched the basketball teams and all that. So I could relate to that. I could definitely relate to that. But I found my way out of Michigan because I think I wanted to go away from home, see different sights. You know what I mean? So who were some of the guys you played with at Pitt? Just to give a little bit more background.
Okay. My freshman year, I played with Charles Smith, Jerome Lang, Demetrius Gore, Pat Kavanaugh, Steve Maslick. And then the guys in my class was Jason Matthews, Sean Miller, Brian Shorter, Bobby Martin. And we came in a heralded recruiting class. We were the #1 ranked recruiting class in the country. And so these days, when you're a top 100 player or you got the #1 recruiting class in the country, you're expected to play. When I came in, I wasn't sure if I was going to play. Actually, before the season started, I was thinking about redshirting because there was so much talent there. But through everything that happened, Chris Gatlin, who was a first-round pick, he wound up being ineligible, so he couldn't play. Mike Goodson, who was the starting point guard, he got kicked off the team. And then Brian Shorter was a Prop 48. So that was 3 players who was projected to play in front of me. And then when those 3 people weren't there, and then we had Rob Brooklyn was a casualty to academics, and he couldn't play the second semester. So we went from freshmen not supposed to play, or we didn't know we were going to play, to contributing a lot to a top 10 program. So I was lucky.
Oh yeah. Hey, look, and that's the thing about it, where I remember that class. All you guys were great guys too. You know what I mean? You could actually have a conversation with you guys. You know what I mean? And the one thing I can honestly say, because you were very talented. You were there with my old teammates, Charles, Jerome, Demetrius. You made the best. You made the most out of your situation. Period. You know what I mean? Because basically your sport dream came true. Am I right to assume that?
It did, because I wanted to play basketball, so it worked out for me. Not too many times what the coaches actually tell you happened. So when I was getting recruited, Calipari was like, how does this sound? You're playing for the Big East Championship. It's on CBS, a noon game, and then they say, at guard from Pittsburgh, 6'4", Darelle Porter. And that actually happened. My freshman year, we're playing Syracuse for the Big East Championship
Oh
at
yeah.
noon, and I'm getting called out in the starting lineup. So the stuff that the coaches was telling me actually happened. A lot of times when coaches tell you stuff, it doesn't happen, but it actually happened for me. So I was
Yeah.
living the dream.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So how many years did you play with Charles and Demetrius?
I played 1 year with Charles Demetrius and Jerome because Jerome left early for the pros.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I only played 1 year with them. And then our second year, all five of us started. So we
Yeah.
had five sophomores starting in the Big East in the 80s, and we were able to handle our own. And that's
Oh
when
yeah.
the Big East was, the biggest, baddest league in the world.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I definitely agree with you. So how did your Pitt career end?
My Pitt career ended. I had a lot of good individual accomplishments. Um, I led the Big East in assists 1 year. I left Pitt as the all-time leader in assists, second in steals. I played, so I was the hometown hero that actually got an opportunity to play. Um, you always want to win a national championship when you coming into college. I wasn't able to do some of the team things, but individually I had a nice career, and I'm happy about that because coming from Pittsburgh and with the Big East being so good, a lot of people doubted if I was going to be able to have success in the Big East because of how talented the league was.
Oh yeah. There's something relatable. Our first year, my freshman year was Pitt's first year in the Big East. So we, you know, we won some. My freshman year, we won some great games against Syracuse, St. John's, Georgetown, and we were probably what 15 and 16 maybe. But the one thing about it was because I was always used to winning coming from out of high school, but the fact to be able to play in the Big East, the Big East conference games are nothing like anything that I've ever experienced in my life. I loved it. I loved it. You know. Let me do this real quick, then I'll let you. Let me acknowledge. See, I like what we like to do here, Darrell, is acknowledge the people in the comments. So I'm looking here. I see Derek Hill, big man. How you doing, brother? I hope all is well with you. And my homie, one of my good friends from high school, Eric Harris. How you doing? They say what's up to you guys, man. But okay. See what I want to do because you're the type of person that people know of your accomplishment, but I don't know if you ever really talked about it. So this is why I'm trying to give you the opportunity because see, really and truly, I looked forward to this one because you are doing great things in the city. And to me, I believe that you're doing it because you loved it. You love doing it. It's not just a job to you. So how many did you get a chance to go play pro after school?
Right. So after school, I played pro. I played in a couple different leagues. I played in the World Basketball League, which was primarily teams in Canada with 3 or 4 teams in the United States. And then I played in the Global Basketball League, which was more southern, and actually Raleigh had a team. And that's when you had just moved from Pittsburgh down
Yeah,
to Raleigh.
yeah.
And Jason played for Raleigh. I was able to play. So I was able to get paid to play ball. Nothing better than getting a check every Monday for hooping. You know, I mean, uh, it was
Something
nice.
that you love. Yeah,
Something
yeah.
that I love to do, and I was actually getting paid to do it. And then after I played, uh, one of the things that I recognized was throughout the year that I'm on the team, um, about 20, 25 players rotated in and out. So they really didn't keep a lot of people all year. I was
Uh-huh.
one of them, but I saw people come in and out. I mean, Milt Wagner, who played at Louisville, was on my team. Jerome Harmon from Louisville. They had Big Ross from Tennessee. They had Reggie Hansen from Kentucky. So it was more of a Southern thing.
Yeah.
And besides us five, man, everybody else rotated. It was like a dude was here this week, gone next week. Now, one of the positive things I can tell you is this. I knew every play because I'm a student of the game. So I learn a play. I don't learn a position. So no matter what position they want me in, I could go execute the play. So every time we got new players, I was in charge of teaching them to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going
Cool.
over it and doing stuff. And then, my coach, he was telling me, man, you're going to be a heck of a coach one day. I'm like, man, I'm not going to be coaching. I'm playing. But I was actually working on coaching when I was playing. And so we were able to interchange 4 and 5 different guys at a time, and then we still was on point. So I think that was one of my biggest assets is being able to play a lot of different positions, but more importantly, being able to communicate and help people out. And I try to teach my players today, if you talk and help your player out, then you making people better. If you just selfish and thinking about yourself, then you're not a great player. So I consider the great players who can make other people better.
Oh yeah. And that's always true because, you know, for great teams, this is what I've always felt. I was on great teams. My last, I should say my last 3 years, but I was when it came to talent, I was on very talented teams, and I've always felt like, listen, of course I wanted to score, I wanted to lead Pitt with 1,000 points, but I didn't do it because I sacrificed. I wanted to win more than you know collect points. I wanted to win, so I played hard as I could every game. You know what I mean? So it's important for each and every player to understand what kind of player he is and what he can contribute. You know what I mean? Just because you're a scorer, sometimes you could be an anchor to your team just by doing something else other than scoring. You know what I mean?
Well, that was more my game. I was more an all-around player, and I did whatever we needed to win. And so I was able to get a lot of assists to some talented players, and a lot of times I sacrificed my shot to get somebody else's shot. And I think that's what people liked about me. They knew that I could do whatever they needed to get a win. And so when it came down to it, crunch time, I was always making plays. Whether it was defense, whether it was offense, whether it was talking, whether it was setting a screen, whether it was calling out a screen, whatever it was, I was able to help the team.
I
Uh,
understand.
but a lot of guys get sacrifice their game, or maybe like you, play out of position to sacrifice to help the team be better, but it don't necessarily help you. So I went through that too, where I was uh, playing a different position than maybe I wanted to, but since I was on the field or the court, I liked it. Keith, you there? Hello.
That.
I'm still here.
Damn, my phone died. So I gotta.
Oh, I thought it was
Still
you know,
going.
you
We're
said y'all
still
had
going
bad.
live. Still going
Yeah,
live.
y'all
Hey,
had
I apologize.
no
I am.
problem. I thought y'all had that bad weather down there. I'm like, man, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, man. Look. I apologize, guys, whoever watching. Hey, Derek, I hear you. I got you. Just to let
We
you
could
know,
do it.
you
We
know,
could
I'm gonna get
we
you on
could
the
do a
podcast
redo.
soon. Say
Yeah,
what
we can
now?
do a redo. We can do a redo if this ain't work out good.
No, no. Well,
You know?
listen. We gonna make this happen, man. You know what I mean? Because
Okay.
I'm gonna make sure you made time for us. So I'm gonna make sure that we treat you right. So we were talking about, you know, you realizing that you was going into a coaching situation, right? Um, why don't we do this? We'll come back because I want people to know that you were a head coach at Duquesne University. I want you to know that, and I'm gonna give you the chance to really um, give us that story. But what I want to do is touch on one of the more important things is what you do for your community. You know, can you give our audience a little taste of that?
Well, basically, with our program, we try to give the kids everything they need to be successful. So we have tutoring, homework help, we have SAT prep, we have strength and conditioning, we have a dinner program. Anything that they say they need, I try to provide so that if they're going to take advantage of it, they'll have every opportunity to be successful. Uh, in doing that, we use basketball as the carrot to get everybody there, and then once they get there, we give them everything else. And so we have our kids academically prepared because before we go to the gym, you got to get your homework done, and then before we go to the gym, you got to eat. So we're making sure we cover a lot of areas so that people could have success. And then I've been lucky enough to coach so many talented kids where I've had 5, 6 kids in the NBA, 2, 3 lottery picks, NFL guys, and we're getting ready to have a guy going to the NFL Hall of Fame that I coach. So, you know, over the years, I can see a lot of success stories and know the stuff that I'm doing is good.
Okay. Okay. So, you know, just staying on that same note, can you give us? Okay, I told you this yesterday. We usually ask this question toward the end of each episode, but I'm gonna ask you early because you have a lot of other things you can share with us. But you do have the kids' ear. But if you ultimately had a say in what they were going to do with their lives and what directions you would like them to walk to, girls and boys, right? What would it be?
Well, my number one thing with them is really take advantage of the things that are free in life. There's not that many things that are free. And so school is free, the library is free, breathing oxygen is free. We used to have water for free, but that ain't free no more. So it's not that many things that are free, and we need to take advantage of them. And when we take advantage of them, we give ourselves opportunities to do stuff. Uh, all of our kids who put forth some work, then they have opportunities to better themselves. And you know, we keep stuff 100%. We keep it real, and we tell them, look, you might not go and play in college, but that don't mean you can't go to trade school. That don't mean you can't do this. So we give them a lot of options. We engage with them in so many different things, and they prosper in all different situations. So I just tell kids to give it a chance. Make sure you take care of your school, and then you got an opportunity.
Okay. Okay.
Now the kids that I don't have as much say so with, I just try to tell them, look, give something an opportunity before you don't do it. Because sometimes they're so deep rooted in what they think, they will argue on the wrong. They'll say something like, "Hey, Porter, you is so." I'm like, "No, it's you are. It's you is where I'm from. They fighting on a wrong, but they so deep rooted in it they don't even understand it's a wrong." So sometimes we just got to pull them to the side, and when you work with them individually, you can get a lot more done than talking with them in groups. So I try to pull them to the side individually and engage with them.
Okay. I know you spoke before on your successes, your great successes. Hey, listen, my brother Jaquari can't hear me, can't hear us, and that just did. It's been a cluster the whole day. So what I'm gonna try to do is make the most of this. So I'm always good at making lemonade. You know what I mean? So we're gonna just keep going. All right, bro. The question I wanted to ask you, you talked about your success stories in the sports realm, right? Two questions. One, estimate how many kids you've touched since you started the program. How many kids that you influenced and touched, right? And also everyday success stories that you can think of.
Right. I mean, I got maybe close to 500 kids who went to college, some type of education after high school, whether it's trade school, community college, universities. Uh, and we pride ourselves on telling them that they can make it and bringing in a lot of examples of success stories. So my alumni base, they always come back and talk to our current group so they can see success stories. And nothing feels better than when somebody who started in your program when they was 9, they coming back to be the guest speaker now, a success story. I mean, we've had kids go to Harvard, HBCUs, you know, everywhere around the country, and it's nice. We had kids national champions, Olympics, I mean, Super Bowl champions, playing the NBA finals, all that stuff. So it's nice to see their success afterwards. But our everyday story, there's a kid that he was in the gym all the time, and he really couldn't play. He always played against younger kids, couldn't play. Then I found out how old he was. He was like 18, still coming to the rec center. But he was like, "This is all I know, Coach DAP." I'm like, "Man, you can come as long as you want." So he was coming to the gym, doing drills, doing stuff. So he was like 24 and never was really good, but he got a job and he successful now. And I think that him just being in our program kept him away from the streets. And those are the type of success stories I really like. You know, every once in a while you get these really good, talented kids who probably was going to have success whether they came to my program or not. But the ones who don't play athletics and come back and tell them how Ozanam saved their life, those are the important stories that I like.
Cool. Cool. All right. Let me do this. Before we get any further, I need to make sure you're good. So I need you to shout out your family, bro. I need you to talk about your kids, talk about your wife, but talk about your people, man. Your moms, your pops, everybody.
Well, I'm so blessed, man. My daughter just left on Monday to go to Portugal. So she had her first scrimmage today. She had 20.7 boards, 5 assists, and 4 steals. I'm like, wow. I'm about to post her jersey on my Facebook page and be like, my baby getting it done.
That's
And
what's up.
so, you know, my son played over in Spain. And then when the pandemic happened, he was stuck over there for a couple of weeks. He don't want to go back. But my daughter, she's going to take advantage of her opportunity. So when your kids have success, that's the ultimate success story. I run a program. My kids came through the program. They're college graduates. They played pro ball, and they productive citizens. And now they're out of the program. So now I'm still doing it for other people's kids. And it feels good. You know, I was at all the NBA Finals games last year. When Phoenix and Milwaukee was playing, I coached Cam Johnson. He was like, Coach, you need to be at every game. I was at every NBA Finals game. And just little perks like that, it was amazing. I go watch the Steelers play. I got 3 kids on the Steelers who came through my program. And I'm like, man. So I see these success stories, and then I know that I'm doing something right because we're having a lot of success stories.
Okay.
That's the circle of life, man.
Okay, so you finally here, Jaquari. Welcome, brother.
Hey, you know, I'm holding it together with bubble gum and tape, brother.
You and me both, man. You and me both. All right, now, hey, you not done yet, though, Dap. I know you shouted out your kids.
Oh, yeah. So now I'm born and raised in Pittsburgh. So I'm close to my family. And we got a lot of people in our family. And I got so much family in Pittsburgh. I was thinking about, man, I might need to transfer. I never could get everybody a ticket. Everybody wanted tickets. I'm like, man, can I get a ticket? And so when you're from your hometown and play at home, boy, I ain't know about that ticket situation, boy. Woo! And so, you know, right now my little brother is an electrician. My sister followed my steps. She's an educator. So my younger siblings are doing good. My mom works with foster care. And I think I got her spirit of helping people out because growing up, everybody stayed at our crib. I ain't even know certain people. When I went to my mom's 60th birthday party, I saw like 20 people who lived with us through the years. I'm like, dang,
man,
I wasn't even at home that long. I saw 20 different people who lived with us. So I got the giving spirit naturally. And then I have a passion to help people out. And then it doesn't feel like work when I'm doing this. It feels like I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. So it's a nice feeling.
Okay. All right, now look. I'm not trying to put you out there, but you still haven't completed everything because we talked about somebody you didn't mention today. We talked about him yesterday. Your pop.
Oh yeah, my high school coach.
No, I'm talking about your dad.
Oh yeah. So look, my dad was an iron worker, and you know, in school he ain't do the best when he was in school, and so he had to take up a trade, and he was up on all these big buildings in Pittsburgh as still an iron worker building these buildings, and his goal was to have me have a better life than him. He ain't want me putting my life at risk every day up on those buildings or bridges. And so at a young age, he taught me structure, discipline. I used to do the Johnny Walker educational thing. And my goal was to make my kid's life better than mine. And I think I did that. And his goal was to make my life better than his. And I think he did that. And so I'm telling my son now that if he ever have a kid, then he needs to make his kid's life better than his.
Okay. Look, and we we've been having these difficulties, so I definitely appreciate how you stepping in and pretty much carrying the show because my other co-hosts, their internet is just failing them right now. So Jaquari, you have anything?
Well, I knew that you were having difficulties with weather and everything, but after yesterday, I ain't think your other brother was going to come on here because he knew I might have had something for him.
Yeah. Hey, so yeah, okay, all right. Well, look, let me just say this. You know, um, I've always thought Pittsburgh was a unique place because, see, Pittsburgh is a sports town. I mean, heavy sports town, and I always like that about it. You know what I mean? Also, what I know about Pittsburgh is the people are very in touch with who they are. You know, there's a lot of community there. This is the truth. You know what I mean? It's funny where you said you get it honest by helping people. You know, I ran into, you know, because I lived a great deal of my life in Pittsburgh, you know, my young life. So it was always, I was recognized even as I got older, you know, and some of the conversations that I had with people, they were good conversations. You know what I mean? And my thing is, when you're doing the things, this is a question for you, Dap. When you are, and this is just out of curiosity more than anything, why I'm asking, is when you're helping people out, is it more for you or is it more for the actual achievement of helping?
I think it's a little bit of both. When I was younger, I had so many different people who helped me out, and so I couldn't have done everything that I did or accomplished without other people, and I realized that. So I try to give back to our kids in our community, like every kid is me, and try to give them a support system to be successful. Um, that's kind of what I try to do. And then, when you do that stuff, you build relationships with kids, and then I can have just as much or more influence on some of the decisions they make as people that they've been around their whole life. And
Mm-hmm.
so I try to influence them in a positive way.
Okay. Okay. Um, Now we're swinging back around because I want everybody to know who don't know about your years at Duquesne. Can you go
Okay.
into
All right. So I coached at Duquesne for 10 years. I was the assistant coach for 7 years under two coaches, and then I was the head coach for 3 years. Um, One of the things that I found out in college coaching is you could outwork people and still not win. I was used to outworking people or putting more time into it and having success. And that was the one job that you could outwork people and not your success maybe ain't reflect the work you put into it. A lot of the kids that I coached, they were not like me. I was a gym rat. I was a student of the game. And then, some of these kids in school not doing what they're supposed to do. And I'm like, man, your whole family is back there bragging on you. You ain't doing nothing here. You ain't coming this on time. You don't want to live. You don't want to work out. And so the first thing that I found out at Duquesne was they did everything by the book. And in college athletics, you don't do things by the book because everybody looking for an advantage. And
Okay,
so
okay.
when I was playing by the rules,
Hold on for a second. Hold on for because that you my man. So that's an interesting thing you just said. You said they did everything by the book. Can you elaborate just a little bit without really going into it?
Well, we went by the rules. We went, they got that big NCAA manual, and then you go by the rules, and we didn't do anything that wasn't in that rule book. And so, for example, I tried to decorate a recruit's room, $37. I bought some balloons. I bought a basketball magazine. I bought a cookie cake. And then when I did my expense report, there's like, you owe us $37. I'm like, for what? We ain't paying for that. That ain't within the guidelines. I said, oh. Now, when I came from Pitt, they probably stretched it all the way that they could stretch it.
Yeah.
Some schools stretch it and toe the line, but I was like 5 feet behind the line and competing against universities that had a different philosophy. And sometimes you can't overcome that. Hard work wasn't the answer for that. And then sometimes you needed to have something extra, because I have plenty of conversations with people who say, hey, everybody offering the education. What else you offering? I'm like, that's all we offering here. They're like, all right, next thing they we go to school B. School B might have got mom a job or a car or anything. In which we weren't able to do that at my school because I had priests. I had to report to priests and go over everything I was doing. And so it's a big difference in doing stuff by the book and then tapping that line a little bit or maybe going over the line a little bit. Okay. So, you know, a lot of the rules changed from when we were playing. And, you know, when you guys were playing, a coach could come to your house and call you every day. They could wear you down like, oh, my goodness, I'm tired of this dude calling me. I see him every day. All right, I'm coming. Yeah. Then they start putting restrictions on stuff. And you got to work within that framework. And sometimes it just wasn't possible for me to compete with some of the other schools because they could sit guys out. John Chaney and Calipari was sitting people out, and they were state schools, so it didn't cost as much. We're a private Catholic school; it was costing $35,000. Even if I got somebody $15,000 in aid, they didn't have 20 to pay the rest. So it was a lot of things that play into winning basketball games, and one of them is really having programs that allow marginal students to have an opportunity to get in, because I had to have everybody with even better grades than the NCAA guidelines to get in to do games. So it was a difficult job, and they're still not having success 20 years later.
Oh yeah. You know what's so funny about it is, matter of fact, Demetrius told me that you got the head coaching job, and I told you last night, Duquesne was a cross crown rival. You know what I mean? So the only time I cheered for them was when you were a head coach there, and you was playing Pitt. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's the truth. Because, you know, like I said, that was a great accomplishment. Because you got to think about, how old were you when you became the head coach?
I was 28 years old, so I was the youngest head coach in the country for about 2 weeks. And then they hired some dude out of Portland State who was like 2 weeks younger than me. So I was the second youngest coach in the country for like 3 years. There wasn't nobody else. And so, you know, basketball-wise, brain-wise, X and O's, I can X and O and do that with the best, but you need players to execute. If you don't have players to execute your stuff, you know, they always say it ain't about X's and O's, it's about Jimmys and Joes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Because I tell you, that's a hell of an accomplishment there, though, man, to be honest with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because, look, you just said, now you talked about, because people need to know these kind of things, the stuff that you talked about, not because they want to put you in high reverence, but the simple fact that you're still a humble human being, even though all these different things is going on and you're able to experience these things, you know? So,
well, one of the things I was able to do was I called Nolan Richardson. I called Tuffy Smith. I called John Chaney. I called some of these uh, established African American black coaches, and to my disappointment, they ain't really had that much rap for me. They're like, man, I'm trying to do my own thing. I ain't got time to be dealing with you. And I really thought that they would reach out to me or maybe take me under their wing and show me a couple different things or tell me a couple different things. And that didn't happen. And so, you find out, man, you in this by yourself, and you got to make the best out of it. Now, I had a couple good recruiting classes. I had some all-league players. I had a rookie of the year in the A-10, first team all-league guys. So I was able to do some decent things. We just weren't good enough to get over the hump to have like a winning record. And you need a winning record. And they didn't care about how many kids I had on honor roll or with good grades. They just come down to wins and losses. We wasn't winning enough.
Yeah.
Now, when I'm in there and I raise the grade point average and we got this and that, that's all good, but it ain't really mean that much. So, coaching is one of the professions where you can outwork people and not really see the results.
That's true. I mean, and look, I understand your view, and it makes sense because I think with you understanding that, it lessened the anxiety to it. You know what I mean? Because you was in a position where it has broken a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? And you were young in the game. So,
well, one of the things I always been is realistic. And then going into every game, I had a game plan, and I thought we could win every game. And then it come down to either you can execute or you can't. And then, we wasn't able to make enough plays to win, but I had a game plan. I wasn't going to lose to the same team twice. I wasn't going to let somebody shoot 5 threes one game and then shoot 5.
Jaquari.
Yeah.
I know you were sitting. I tell you, hey, ladies and gentlemen, this has been one of those. I'm still enjoying the conversation from Darelle, but when it comes to the, this link and everything tonight, it has given us every problem it could possibly give. You know what I mean? So, did you talk to Damon? Is he? What's going on with him? Did he say? See, this is what I'm talking about. Look, Jaquari is frozen too. So, all right, I'm solo right now until I get somebody back. Let's do this. I want to make sure that everyone understands why we're here. You hear me repeat this all the time. It's about everyday people, everyday things. Darelle has talked about many accomplishments, and he's still a humble man. You know what I mean? But he's a humble man with great confidence. See, you can those two things can coexist. And I just think that I still put him and myself and my brothers into, even though we may be highly regarded in our own little circles, we're still everyday people making choices to move the world forward, to be exactly what we need to be. I think that one point that really just lingered to me was when Darelle said that he reached out to all those notable coaches and didn't really receive any help from them, any kind of advice. And I just find that kind of strange because if you're an OG in the game, it don't cost you anything at all just to, give some advice. especially when somebody want to pick your brain. You know, that I got mine, you get your mentality. You know that that in itself is the problem because every person, especially when it comes to a team sport, they do not become great without help along the way. Period. Nothing more, none less. We talk about the, since we're on a sports thing type of situation. My youngest son, he loves LeBron James, so he talks the GOAT talk every night. And I said, son, I don't want to talk this with you because LeBron James is still playing. So you cannot say he's the greatest of all time because you still watch him on television. He couldn't quite understand that, you know. Then, when I run into guys who said Michael Jordan is the greatest, right? I'm like, well, wait a minute. Whether or not they played in different time periods or whatever, Wilt did incredible things for a guy who wasn't ball dominant. Kareem did incredible things, and he wasn't ball dominant. You know what I mean? Everybody gravitates toward the flashier players, which I understand. So it's not like I'm talking against it, but the thing about it is, you know, you can't talk about greatness in somebody when they are winning championships because they have other people pulling and going in the same direction as them. You know what I mean? Because there are great players, very great players who never won a championship. But guess what they do? Well, he never won a ring. So you tell me that takes away from his greatness because he was never able to lead a team, another team. Damon, what's going on? Lead another
What's going
team
on? Lead another team
What's on?
to
to
to a championship. You know what I mean?
to a championship. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
So
I've always said, man, I wish I would have had the opportunity to box when I was growing up,
okay,
because team sports, it's no doubt that
he got a lag in his
team sports
situation.
built a
Go
certain
ahead.
thing.
go ahead.
Team sports, they didn't necessarily nurture my thirst for independence, man. I mean, it's a lot to be said for, it's just you and the other dude, in the ring, on the mat, on the tennis court, face to face, it's mano a mano, man, and just you and him. And your only goal is to whoop that man, and you ain't got nobody to support you. You know, psychologically, man, that not only feeds your independence, man, but it kind of shows you the structure of the world, man. Yeah, I mean, team sports absolutely built in me a sense of community, man, a sense of responsibility for the man to my right and the man to my left. But as far as me uh, shooting for those achievements, those solo achievements, man, it didn't help out a lot. I had to learn that. You know, and I'm not. Don't get me wrong, man. I'm not. I'm
You know what? If it only happens one time out of 30, then we're ahead of the
not pissing
game.
on my experience.
Okay, you're lagging a little bit, bro. You know what I mean? But like I said, I'm gonna keep a positive outlook on this thing, and we're gonna keep going. Hey, Damon, we haven't heard from you, man. Uh, Holler at us, man. Let's hear your voice.
Can y'all
You
hear
can
me?
chime in a little bit on this.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hey man, my apologies, man. I don't know what the hell is going on, technical difficulties or whatever. I only caught the last, bit of y'all conversation, so I'm really in the dark. So fill me in. What's going on? What y'all talking about?
We're just talking about, well, Darrell talked about his experience as head coach at Duquesne, and we just talked. It just morphed into uh, who's considered a goat, who's not, what the criteria is, and I pretty much said that I don't really see goats. I don't see that. I see it because in order for Michael Jordan to be great, he had to have a great team because he went 6-0 in the finals. You know what I mean? As far as Magic Johnson is concerned, he had Kareem. He had Jamal Wilkes. He had James Worthy. He had Hall of Famers, basically. You know, Same thing with LeBron. LeBron did it a little different, but the East was weak when he took that one Cleveland squad that worked. He didn't have. He was the only great player on the team. They were serviceable, uh, good, decent players, but weren't great. You know what I mean? But he took them to the finals. They beat a great Detroit team. You know what I mean? So I the GOAT debate, I don't believe in that. You and I, we talked about it before. So what do you think?
I think it's all subjective, man. Everybody has their opinion based on they. Everybody has their own opinion based on what they think is the criteria, man. When people ask me, I give my honest opinion. My opinion is that Jordan and LeBron James, they eat at this, they sit at the same table. You know what I'm saying? They sit at the same table because there's some things, man. Here is the thing that people I think because of their biases, they don't choose to recognize, man. You know what I'm saying? You hear about LeBron James's you hear about his weaknesses. Oh man, he don't have the killer instincts and he don't have this and he don't have that. You know what I'm saying? But the one thing that you never hear is about Jordan weaknesses because everybody want to consider him as this God figure. Just because Larry Bird said, "Oh, he was Jesus disguised. He was God disguised as a basketball player, whatever." They take that statement and say, "Oh, that means because Larry Bird was so great, that means that it was Jordan, and Jordan had no flaws." Come on, dude. How many times have we watched Jordan play a game, man, and it's not taking anything from his greatness, but how many times we watched Jordan play a game and he was 15 for 45? You feel what I'm saying? Jordan had bad games. He had bad games, but if you listen to the people that want him to be the so-called GOAT, he never had a bad game. He never had a bad series. You know what I'm saying? And people our age, we know different, man. And when we hear those statements about Jordan, the people that support him, when we hear them talk about him, we just like, man, that's ridiculous, man. Do you know how foolish you sound? You know what I'm saying? The only perfect person that ever walked on this earth was Jesus. And you putting him in that same class over in terms of basketball? No. He had a lot of flaws, man. He had a lot of them. And you want to know, and here's the one thing, and this is the last point I'm going to make. Like I said, you have the naysayers speaking in terms of LeBron James. They're talking about he didn't have heart, he didn't, all that stuff, right? Guess what? Guess what? What somebody, from my perspective, see Jordan. He could not lead any damn body in terms of making them their best. You see what I'm saying? That's LeBron James' strength. And when you speak in terms of the GOAT, it's a team game, man. If you can elevate other players to win, then you that. Who did Jordan elevate, man? He put everybody on his back, and he took took control of the reins. But LeBron James set people up to make the game-winning shot. Think about that for a minute. That's crazy.
All right, now look, good point. Hey, Derek, first of all, you need to stop that, man. You know what I mean? Derek said, man, stop. Jordan is all universe. Ain't
No,
nobody
he's not.
arguing that. No, see, this is my point, Dame. This is my point. And I really want to stress this. You cannot put anybody in the GOAT status because the game is continual. It's a continual game. It's over and over again. Period. You can't do it. It's not possible. You can have your favorite. You can have your favorite. You know what I mean? I mean, is that acceptable? I think that's acceptable. You can have your favorite. Yeah, I think he's the GOAT. I think he's this. That's how I think. But when you talk about numbers, you need to talk about Kareem. Period. And if you want to talk about championship, I don't care if you say that this young boy told me this, but if you want to talk about championship, Bill Russell got 11. But this young boy told me Bill Russell was playing with plumbers and construction workers.
My point is this, man. It's awesome.
Yes, you said it's subjective, man. You did.
It is all subjective, man.
Okay, man. But see, this is what I'm saying to you. You said it's subjective, right? And then you go in and tell us why you think Jordan don't compare to LeBron. That's
No,
you.
that's not what I
how you
did.
feel.
That's not what I did.
Right? And then you go in.
So what?
So what?
I missed the point. So what
I
was
missed the point. What was?
My point is, if you remember at the beginning of my point, I said they both sit at the same table. Jordan is.
Yeah,
I said.
you're right.
I said Jordan has his weaknesses
You're right.
that nobody wants to
You're right.
admit. But
I
in this day and
apologize.
time, everybody talks about LeBron weaknesses. LeBron has things over Jordan. Come on, man. Let's just be realistic, man. When you talk about the evolution of the game, you know what I'm saying? That's where you can be objective when you talk about the evolution of the game, right? LeBron is 6'8", 250 damn pounds. He run like Jordan. He's as athletic as Jordan. The one thing they say about LeBron is that he don't have the killer mentality. You understand what I'm saying?
But that's just looking for excuses to ride.
My
that
point is
guy,
this.
man.
My point is this. That is a major effort to find a weakness in this man's game. But if you was to put LeBron back in the 90s, you understand what I'm saying? You don't think he would dominate, man? You don't think he would be the exact same player and have the exact same reverence that he has now? Oh, man, they wouldn't let him come in the paint. How you going to stop him? Here's my point. LeBron James and Karl Malone is the same build, and they couldn't stop Malone. He's second leading scorer in the history of the NBA. They couldn't stop Malone. You know what I'm saying? And LeBron has multiple skills better than Karl Malone. So you tell me, when they made the argument, well, he couldn't play back in the 90s because it was more physical. Dude, y'all couldn't stop Malone, so how the hell you going to stop LeBron?
All right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Point,
So
point,
I'm speaking.
point.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean by the evolution of the game, dude. Michael Jordan was the most athletic cat in the 90s. He was the best player on the best team. You see what I'm saying? Now you take that same team that LeBron first went to the finals, man. His first finals. Did you see the team he was on? Not taking away from anybody that was on that team. Did you see the team that he was on?
Gotcha.
He carried them cats. Look, if we were to be honest in terms of the evolution of the game and the players and the status and the skill levels and all the stuff that they're on right now, if you was to put Michael Jordan on that same team, the first team LeBron took, he wouldn't have been able to do it, man.
Listen, man. It's all speculation, like you said before. And
Okay.
you make a valid point. So it's
Okay.
not. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I cannot. This is not Marvel comics. We can't flash forward or.
But
we ain't got no time stone, man. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
but when I talk about objective, remember how I started the conversation. I did not say LeBron was better than Jordan. I said they was eating at the same table.
Yeah.
Because you know what? My goal is Kareem. You understand what I'm saying? My goal is Kareem. How the hell you depend on somebody to pass you the ball and you still score the most points in the history of the NBA?
It's real.
Explain that.
Look, Bill Blass, his name is Derek. He says Jordan never went to a game 7. 6-0 in the NBA championship.
Okay.
They don't sit at the same table.
Okay. Can I address that?
Not taking anything from LeBron. Yeah, you can address it.
Okay. Listen here, man. I respect your opinion, but I want you to think about something when Jordan was doing his thing in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Jordan was leading the whole thing. What's my man name? The commissioner then? What was he doing? He made Jordan global because Jordan was that deal. Jordan was the best player on the best team, and everybody else, you know what I'm saying? They could not deal with him. The NBA was getting like record low attendance ratings and stuff. You feel what I'm saying? Record low attendance ratings. You got Charles Barkley playing in Phoenix, and who the hell else did he have? You got Karl Malone playing in Utah, and who the hell else did he have? Compared to the Chicago Bulls, they had the most dominant, best team in the league that whole time. Jordan was the best player on the best team. The competition was not even close. It was not even close.
No.
He dominated. I give Jordan this credit. I give him this credit. He did what he should have done, being the best player on the best team when the NBA was down.
Now here's my thing. A lot of people. It is everyone's opinion, man, and I stress this because I'm with you, Damon. I understand because you cannot now. Had they played in the same era, right? Now think about this. Kobe played against LeBron a lot, and he was on his downward side, right? But before his injury, he was giving it to LeBron. You understand? And the thing about it is, LeBron, and not making excuses for him, he thinks the game in a team sport, period. But guess what?
He was giving it to LeBron.
Yes, he was.
Was.
What are you talking about? LeBron
Man, how long did Kobe did not make the playoffs, man?
Hold on. LeBron guarded Kobe. LeBron can't play defense. You know what he can do? He's the weak side of the shot block. So let's just keep it real, man. Kobe was averaging 30 against LeBron. And LeBron was averaging about 25. You can look that up. He had a couple.
And how many years did Kobe miss the playoffs, man?
That's not the point. It's not the point.
It's not.
No, because I'm not debating whether or not LeBron is the GOAT. I'm just making comparisons, dog. That's it. That's it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's it. So, Big Bill Burnett just texted me, and he said that you talking crazy, man.
Who talking crazy?
You talking crazy because look, he said you talking crazy because Jordan is the GOAT. Come on, man.
Is he?
No. That's what I'm saying to you.
So it's subjective.
Whoever's listening to me, he is your GOAT. But he's not a universal GOAT. Because the game is still going, first and foremost. And
What, hey, Keith?
He did not play against the people that's being compared to him in their each era. Come on, man. Let's be logical about it.
Keith, look. See, here's the thing. Here's where people get it twisted when they hear me speak. I'm not taking nothing from Jordan. Like I said, Jordan dominated being the best player on the best team. He did that. I'm not taking that from him.
Nobody's saying that. No, I'm not saying it. Now everybody else.
What I'm saying is,
because they're Jordan fans.
They talk about the GOAT. They talk about the GOAT, Keith. Look here, I'm a Detroit Pistons fan. Isaiah gave him the business. Matter of fact, Isaiah and the Bad Boys forged him. You feel what I'm saying? They forged him. They made him the player that he became after they was dismantled. So miss me with all that. He the GOAT. No, he wasn't. He didn't win for 8 years, man.
Yeah, but
he was getting the business. Bird swept him.
I know. You know why? Because Boston was the beast of the East.
Bird swept him.
You know what I'm saying? Boston. And he had problems out of Cleveland. That's why he celebrated so much.
He beat Cleveland, man.
No, hold on. Cleveland was a powerhouse team that was beating the Bulls before they got to the Pistons.
Right.
So all that.
And Cleveland never came out the East. They never played for no championship, and they was giving Jordan the business.
But look. Jordan, I will give him this. Jordan is a complete player. That was his greatest strength. His greatest strength was his will to win, and his completeness mixed with the athleticism. That made him great. You know what I'm saying? LeBron is athletic. He's a big guy, but he also has that will to win. You feel me?
Man, arguably, LeBron James is the smartest, the most intelligent player that ever played the game of basketball.
Oh my
That's
God.
just fact, man.
That's
just fact.
Stop playing.
He is.
Okay.
Play.
No. Think about what you just said.
I know exactly what I said.
No. You put him on Mount Olympus status on every category when it came to playing basketball. You said he's the smartest player.
Stop
it, Stop
and guess what?
He's very smart.
But this is what you missing, Keith. This is what you're missing because you being subjective. This is what you're missing. I just explained to you and I gave you my opinion of LeBron James and his intellect and skill and all that stuff. And I still say that him and Jordan is at the same table. Both of them had skills that nobody could match.
I believe that. No, it was Derek. Derek was the one who disagreed. I agreed with you.
They both at the same table, man. Because the skills that they displayed on that court is second to none. Jordan had that dominance, that killer will and all that stuff, and LeBron had that. Okay, I'm gonna have everybody in their place, and we're gonna figure out as a team to win.
Okay. All right. Now, before you go on, Darelle is back with us. You know, the internet, social media, whatever affected us all. His phone died. He's back. But that, we definitely have to have you back when all our ducks in a row. You know what I mean? But we kicking it. But listen, we talking about the GOAT thing. I want to know, Damon said that LeBron James and Michael Jordan sit at the same table. We had a couple people in the comments who disagree with that. What is your opinion about it?
Well, my opinion is Wilt Chamberlain, I think, was the best because he changed the rules. And then Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had an unstoppable shot that nobody could guard. And so I'm trying to figure out why nobody has mastered the sky hook like Kareem did because it was so unstoppable. But when it comes to Jordan, I think Jordan was a better player, but LeBron is a better all-around player. LeBron does all the little things that people can't see on the stat sheet, and he still scores. And those guys are so good that you start talking about stuff they can't do. That's how good they are.
Okay.
Normally, when you're not that good, you talk about all the stuff they can do.
So
when you're so good, they start talking about the stuff they can't do.
So who is the better leader? I'm asking all three of you guys. Who do y'all think is the better leader between? I'm gonna give you some guys. LeBron, since we're talking about him. Jordan, since we're talking about him, and Kobe. Out of those three guys, who's the better leader? You can go first, Dap.
Well, I think that other guys got there, but they lost a little. And I think that his leadership was probably more effective. And then when he had the coach to go along with it, because when Dennis Rodman went there, I didn't think it was no way the Bulls were still going to win. Dennis Rodman was wild.
Yeah, I get it.
And
I get it. Hey, but you know what? Dennis was trying to make that money, man.
Work.
But Dap, you ever think about Dennis wanted to play with Jordan? Is why he did. He was doing what he was doing.
I mean, that could be a reason too. He might have wanted to do it.
Yeah.
He might have been at the, end of his career, and now he already did all this wild stuff, and he was like, it's time to just win now. Because Dennis Rodman was a double-figure scorer when he was with Detroit. And then he turned into this rebounding machine. He was having 2 points and 18 rebounds.
Yeah, you're right.
So he sacrificed his game, and the team benefited from it. We talked about that a little bit earlier.
That's true. That's true. Damon, who do you pick?
As far as what?
A better leader between Kobe, Jordan, and LeBron? Since they the most debated people, who do you think? And
I
I'll let
think
you guys do others.
the better leader, man, was LeBron James, man. Was the LeBron James, and the reason why I say that, man, because if you look at the teams that he took to the finals, man, if those cats that he took to the finals was on other teams, they would have never made it to the damn NBA finals, man. They'd have never made it. You know what I'm saying? And he involved cats. He had an expectation of cats, and he involved them. He didn't just take over the game. You know what I'm saying? He didn't just dominate and take it. He held them responsible. You know what I'm saying? This dude finna have 10,000 assists, man.
I
Come
got
on
you.
now. 10,000 assists, 10,000 rebounds, and finna be the leading scorer in the history of the NBA. You know what I'm saying? That's somebody who's getting people that's on his team involved. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? He was leading with the understanding that, okay, I need that's why you think he never had young cats on his team, man. He had veterans. He wanted to play with veterans because he knew veterans understood their roles. Whereas Jordan just dominated cats, man. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
And Kobe, man, God bless his soul, man. That dude, he just shot you out the gym. He gonna take 40 shots. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. But so, all right. Here's I'm gonna throw a couple twists, and I'm gonna give you both of y'all my opinion about it. Leaders. Kobe and Michael led by a little bit of example, but they berated people. Admittedly, they admitted that that's what they did. You need to come up to my standard. That's a form of leadership. You know what I'm saying? It's a form of leadership. LeBron, like, hey, that's not my style on the basketball court. Now he's like that in real life because I kind of sense that. I don't know. I don't have no proof, but I kind of sense that, right? But he leads by his example. Look, let's go. You open, I'm giving you the ball. He had a little bit of taste of Magic Johnson. I asked you because I can't really pick the three because it depends on the personnel that's playing with him, right? But I picked those three guys deliberately because I don't know, and I wanted to know what your opinions were. You know, as far as leaders concerned, because honestly, living in Detroit, living in Michigan, we had an idea of who Jordan was. You know what I mean, personality wise, right? But then when The Last Dance came out, we're like, whoa, you know, especially the brothers who really drank the Kool-Aid, drank the great Kool-Aid. They was really like astounded how dogmatic this brother was. But see, I respect that because the three of us played basketball at a high level, and we had old heads that we played with that demanded that from us. You see what I'm saying? So it's nothing wrong with what Jordan was doing or Kobe, right? And there's nothing wrong with LeBron. You know what I'm saying? But see, it's different styles of leadership. But if I were to pick, and I know you guys have your own all time, but my all time leader, like really and truly shows, and this is one little form of it, right? Magic Johnson was a great leader because he really, Jason Kidd, they really made other people better. You saw how they made other people better. You know what I mean? So look,
Well, Magic is my favorite. Magic is my favorite player of all time. So I agree with you. You only gave me those three options, so I had to,
I told you I did
talk
that on
about those
purpose.
three options.
I did that on
But
purpose.
but
did that on
but,
purpose.
but don't they say that LeBron is Magic Johnson on steroids, man?
Because he jumps faster, higher. No, not he don't think like Magic, man. Stop
When did
playing.
LeBron pass Magic in assists, man?
It don't make a difference. His career is longer than Magic's.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna use the longevity argument then?
Bro, I'm not arguing with you. I'm saying to you, I answered that. I answered your
Okay.
question. You know what I'm saying?
Which was subjective.
It is what it is. So, I got a couple texts there. I'm gonna let you guys go, man. But like I said, Darelle, we gotta have you back when our machines is acting like they got some sense, man. Because we definitely
I'd be happy to come back on. I really enjoyed this, and I like to hear other people's perspective on stuff, because if we all thought the same, we wouldn't need to do this.
no doubt.
Real.
All right, I'm gonna throw this out to you guys. Let me do one real quick, because my youngest son, he wants to, Carson wants to be acknowledged. So he's like, think of Shaq with Magic playmaking, and KD shooting, and Jordan scoring. You know who he's describing? Your guy, LeBron.
Yeah. Evolution, man. It's crazy. You have to acknowledge that, man.
Stop it. All right, well, look, Bill Burnett, Philly boy. He be, Philly dudes, sometimes they be on some craziness, right? So this is to you, Damon, but I want you and DAP, I want y'all to answer this, then we're gonna close this off. He said LeBron was a recruiter. He punked out in Cleveland and went with Wade and Bosh. And he wanted me to let you know that, Damon.
And who is this?
Bill. Let me let DAP. I'm gonna let you answer this, DAP. And then Damon,
Okay.
and then we're gonna go into your perspective at the end, then we're gonna shut this down.
Well, a lot of people say that he went with those guys, but every team that wins has a couple guys who can play, and that's been the last 50 years. When Magic was playing, he had Kareem and Worthy. He wasn't playing by himself. When Larry Bird was winning, he had Mikel, Paris, and some more.
Yeah.
When Detroit won, they had Isaiah, Joe Dumars, you know what I mean? Rodman, Sally Lambeer. Every team that wins is a really good team. So what I would say about LeBron is he's been the smartest business person that ever played in the NBA, and he used the rules to his advantage. He definitely learned from all the people who played before him, and then he was able to benefit from all the rule changes. Back in the day, it was like you play for a team, that's your team.
Yep.
The only way you get to another team, you get traded.
Mm-hmm.
So people was playing their whole career with teams. And then they, brought up free agency. So, as the game evolves and the rules evolve, he's just the smartest person to take advantage of all the rules. Because when he was at Miami, he didn't take the max contract. Neither did Wade or Bob. And they all deserved it, but they're like, we all gonna take less so we could be better.
Yeah.
Then they was able to go get a Ray Allen and a couple other pieces. But the first year they lost, and they went and got some more. But you need to sacrifice, and I think he sacrificed and was able to build these teams around knowing the new cap rule and all this other stuff. I mean, you gotta be smart to be a GM.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
And then they say he the player GM, so the only one who did it better than him was Bill Russell when he was the player coach.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But the rules kind of dictate how things go now, and I'm glad that the players get 49% or some type of percentage of all the earnings, and then the owners only get 51%, so they can't make that much more than the players is making. And so, with that being said, I just think he's the smartest team maker. He was able to do that in 3 different places. Because he did it in Miami, we was talking about him, but then he went back to Cleveland and did it. Then he went to LA and did it. So he's been able to put some really nice squads together, and it might not just be him, but since he's the best player, we think that he got a lot of involvement in it. Because he always say he don't got nothing to do with it, but somehow I think he does.
Okay. All right. Hey, before you answer, Damon, hold on. That I was getting ready to ask you, is it fair that they're putting it on him that he is building his own squads? Just real quick, do you think
Right.
that's what he's
I don't think it's fair because somebody got to allow him to do that. There's people in positions who in charge of personnel, who the general manager, who the vice president of operations. Like it's a whole organization that's used to run. I don't know if they're going to say, well, one person can come do this, because we found out KD wanted to get traded, and guess what? They didn't trade him.
I didn't think they would anyway.
They said they're going to do what's best for the organization. So I think he gets unjustly accused of stuff. But I think that with his style of play, people want to play with him because he's a pass first player.
Yeah.
And they know that they're going to at least get the ball. And, like your brother was saying, if they play with Mike and Kobe, they might not see the ball.
That's real. That's real. All right, Damon, look, this is what we're going to do. I want you to answer that as much as possible. I know you have your answer. Then I want you to go into your speak on it. You got 5 minutes. No, you got 4 minutes. Then we're gonna have to let everybody go.
Well, it's going to be short and sweet, man. As far as Bill's concerned, from Philly, man, hey, look, try to figure out how to keep Embiid off the floor, man, and plan the full season before you judge me. You understand? And I'm gonna leave that there. Deal with that. But as far as my closing statement is concerned, man, each and every day, man, I find myself being humble. My grandbaby was very demanding today, and I had to find patience for that. You know what I'm saying? And entertain her, man. So I'm just grateful, man, that I'm still, I still have the ability, man, to have this awareness of other people in my lives, man, that means something. And be able to support them and give them what they want, or what they need in an unselfish way. Put it that way. You know what I'm saying? So, spending time with my grandbaby, man, I was very humbled with that today. Just to see her growth and her progress and all that stuff, man. and being able to be in the position where I can see where I can prepare her for the world. You know, and that is, for me
Man, that
it
was
was just,
beautiful, man. That was beautiful.
yeah, for me that was special. It was a special day today. And that's pretty much all I got, man.
I got you. All right. Well, look, I want to before we go, I want to say I apologize for my internet. It's been choppy all day. Don't know why. Rain came through here. I don't know. But Darrell, when you were able to speak on things, man, you gave a great perspective of your life and how you feel about the things that you achieved and the things that you're doing now. We appreciate you, bro. We need you to come back on when it's all clear. Guys who came in and who's going to look at this later, don't judge us by this one. You know what I mean? Judge us by the content, not by what you see. So just listen to the words. Do me a
Well,
favor.
I really enjoyed myself. I think that the format that you guys have is wonderful. It allows people to give their perspective, and then one of the things that I could appreciate is people let you talk until you're done. It wasn't too much interruption, so you could get out what you wanted to say, and I could appreciate that.
No doubt.
'Cause I know that most of the time I don't let people say what they want to say when they talking with me.
Oh yeah, but look, you our guest, man. We gotta let you do it. We gotta let you get it off, man. For real. You know. One last thing, then I'm gonna let you go. Derek Hill. He's on that pro Jordan thing, right? So I'm gonna give you like 30 seconds to respond to this, Damon. Derek said, LeBron jumped from team to team. LeBron need to tell Anthony Davis to stay on the floor and not in street clothes.
Hey, that was a hell of a comeback right there. I can't say nothing to that. I can't say nothing to that. He bumped my head with that one. But what I want to say, man, real talk. Coach Paul, hey, look, man, I didn't see you in high school, but I watched your career, man, in college. I was a fan, and it's a pleasure, man, to be on this podcast with you, man. One of the guys that I admired back in the day, and real dude, man. I appreciate that being on here with you, man.
Thanks for allowing me to take part of this, and I look forward to the next time that we can, get it better when everything's working better.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, look, stay on. Hey, Darrell and Damon, stay on real quick for 30 seconds when I end this broadcast. Hey, Derek, give me a call, man. We'll talk about it. Hey, go to our YouTube channel, like and share, and especially subscribe. Strong Perspective Podcast. Look, we got great content and we got great people. And let me know. Message me if you want to come on. Because we invite everybody. And our women, our young ladies, our sisters out there, we need you to come on. Get in touch with me. Let's make it happen. This is Strong Perspective Podcast. You guys have a good night.